and welcome to another episode of DigiVation Tech Outlook series for 2024. Here with me today is Mr. Tola Yusuf of Infratel Africa, and today we'll be delving deeper into what telecommunication is for Nigeria as a country in Africa trying to find its position in the cyberspace, and also what are those initiatives, projects that Infratel Africa has for Nigeria in order to enable its Nigerian technology ecosystem develop. Mr. Tola, thank you for your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now we start from assessing the previous financial year, like most business people would like to say. Reviewing 2023 for Nigeria technology ecosystem, how would you say Nigeria as a country, or better still, Nigeria technology ecosystem has performed in comparison with other African countries that are in the same Africa cyberspace? Egypt, Morocco, South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda. What's your take?
Nigeria as a country is not doing badly in the tech space. As one thing that works for us is the fact that we have the population to play this game.
Okay.
However, we have myriad of challenges that affected us last year. Let's start from the fact that from late 2022 to early or even mid 2023, which is last year, we couldn't do anything reasonable in terms of concrete planning because of changing government. Where everybody was waiting, what is the direction of government, the Buhari administration is going, and the new incoming government wasn't planned. So every investor was making the existing asset and seeing what we can do with it. There wasn't that much of injection of funds in the tech space. And what what we need is how we can bridge majorly the infrastructure gap. So infrastructure gap suffer a lot of loss. That's number one. Number two is the FX impact. Most of the CapEx project that will have happened last year, I don't think half of that project happened. Because the moment you do a business case and you plan, you do your checks and wanted to raise funds for CapEx deployment, just before you blink your eye, it's failed. Because dollar probably must have moved from X to X plus 3 or X squared, depending. And then it's almost impossible to have a business case that works. And that impacts. Here we wanted to do a lot. We are housing the Naira and thinking we are going to inject, but right there and there, the Naira became, every day is devaluing and then reducing the number of what we can do. Because we are not operating in an exclusive space. Whether you like it or not, what we all spend is dollars. Because at the end of the day in the tech place, most of this infrastructure, what we do, about 70% of them is dominated in dollars, in FX or in any currency. It's dominated in FX. So that has a lot of impacts on us. Another thing that happened to us last year in Nigeria in the tech place is the Japa syndrome. I hope you understand what I mean. There was a lot of brain drain, experienced people that understand what to do. All migrated, majorly they migrated to the Western world. Canada, US, opened their door for them and these people walked in and then they left with the charts for us to train.
Is Nigeria putting necessary tools, matrix in place for it to ensure that it's able to achieve a sustainable digital ecosystem?
Looking at the strategy roadmap of the Minister of Communication, Dr. Bosotijani, one of what one wants to do is to train 3 million technical resource by 2027 and increase digital literacy by 70%. Again, boost Nigeria broadband penetration to 70%. We've been hovering all around 50 for many years. By the end of 2025, 2025 is just next year. Okay, these are strategic goals and roadmap. Again, where I play, well, where Infratel play more, which is the rural space, say provide coverage for 80% of the population in underserved and unserved area. This resonates with me and it resonates with what Infratel Africa does a lot. Rural transformation, that's what we do. And this space for a very long time has suffered a lot. Why? The digital space or the mobile network operators, quote and unquote, find them not too attractive because they do not have that propensity to spend like us in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja. And then infrastructure to these people has been deprived for long years. And more than 49% of the population of Nigeria live in this space. So I like the fact that the government of the day is looking at having at least 80% penetration. That on its own will revolutionize the tech space in this country. Because imagine somebody in the very far farming of somewhere in Kogi, let's say Isalu, and he can harvest his yam and call somebody in Lagos and say, I've harvested yam or tomato or those perishable goods, and have ability to be able to call these people and say I've harvested and sell easily, and these are transported. The investment in telecommunication sector, 15% year on year. These are some of the strategic goals that I think is quite laudable, that if this government put in the will to achieve this laudable strategy objective, it's going to be soon in Uhuru. We are not there yet, but the word Uhuru will get there. We'll get there very soon. So, and I think for them to be able, when you ask people for the idea, the fact that they plan shows that we have something we are looking forward to. So the fact that this strategic plan are there and these goals are there, we are dissecting them and looking at something enough, give us some sort of comfort that we will certainly get there.
Infrastructure, you've made mention, quite a laudable plan or strategy by the federal government on it. But the question is this: what are your thoughts on the gaps and challenges, and what suggestions do you have on how these can be bridged?
I would say there's a lot that the government need to help us to do. There's a lot the government need to do. And it might just not be give us money. No. Automatically, when you plug in your figure and you are going to any investor, you failed already. Nobody wants to put their money where they don't get benefits.
Very important.
Return on investment is key. Is key. So that on its own has put us on an edge in terms of infrastructure deployment. Investors are a bit. Africa is viable, the business is there, population 12 and something million and above, telecom infrastructure gap, huge. So the market is there. However, in the context of the current economic situation, we let them my money back. That question you cannot. Just why? You are bringing in dollar capital expenditure. You are expected to pay back same dollar. So you borrow at X dollar, and by the time you are paying back, you have 300% increase. And should I now shock you? The revenue is on the straight line. The amount you have been making call from that time to now did not change. There's no business that can withstand it. There's no business. It's normally a case of whatever I'm buying, I should sell. I buy at X, I put Y margin, and I sell at X plus Y. Telecom is a different thing because it is highly regulated. But when you put regulation on a ceiling, on a straight line, and the economic inputs in terms of those factors that determine how those things run are going at geometric progression, you cannot continue to go at linearly. But we are going linearly. And that's one of the impact. That summarizes the impact. A lot of people are not ready or will not be ready to put fund in the tech space. They would rather put it in real estate, as I say. Or you go to Alaba, you buy something from China, you add on top and do this. But this doesn't solve the problem of the sector. This government need to do something. All economic factor cannot be going sporadically in geometric progression. And we think that we can hold tariff at the same rate. I'm not advocating that throw tariff up, no. But if you keep tariff at that straight line, the business case will never look good and investment will not come. Summary, small, just very summary, short economics, 101, still at low level. So I think government need to find a middle ground to see how best to stimulate the infrastructure in the tech space. It is very, very important. However, if there's an increase in the tariff, it will stimulate some sort of investment because the business case will look good, even if it is spread over 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And then you can compete and stimulate a lot of stuff, bring in more people, bring in more investment, and then train more. That's when you employ more people to do the job, either the CapEx or the OpEx or to maintain, and you stimulate the economy. I am a bit scared that if nothing is done, the investment might just be static. Investment in tech space might not move this year because people will not bring in their funds. The economic tide is not supporting it. You will put your money where you have a return on your investment. Nobody put money where it's going to lose. So government need to do something drastically in this space. That's one. Another one is a whole lot of investors that have invested in this space cannot move out their funds. Okay, I'll break it down. You bring in funds, dollars, for CapEx, capital expenditures. You buy equipment abroad, you bring it with dollars. When you do the business in Naira, and you get your revenue in Naira. It's worse enough that dollar of $1 must have increased by ×3. Again, when you get these funds, it's extremely difficult to get that dollar offshore. One, where is the dollar? I don't know who has it. So, time without number, you have Naira, and then there's no dollar.
So much vision, anticipation, but what we have on ground, do you think Nigeria can achieve rural urbanization and effective smart city with the technology ecosystem we have now?
Our focus on what Infratel Africa is known for is rural transformation. The smart city idea, we are currently driving it heavily. Smart city, we call it smart rural. That is our own carve of niche for it, smart rural. And during the last year end, between Christmas and New Year, I was in a village and I was just imagining a lot that if I have everything in this space, this my town, will I have to go to Lagos? Where will I prefer me? And the truth is, if I really have tech space, facility, infrastructure in those places, I will stay months in my town without coming to, because it's fresh air. We are compelled to find a way to provide infrastructure and put the so-called smart city and take it to those places, so that you decongest Lagos, so that somebody here can still have an area of farmland, and in the midst of your tech idea, in the midst of your laudable knowledge in other space, you do small agriculture and see how fish, maybe a little fish pond, because there is land. Nigeria has land. We have area of land. Today infrastructure is far from being enough, because the major stakeholders are not pushing, I mean private sector this time around, are not putting investment in the rural, because return on investment is not good in the rural. Simple question, business question. Hence, we owe that question all to Bob the Trend. Look for innovative solution. I may not need to be very big tower of 200 million. Can I do 10 million watts or $10,000? Let me talk in dollars now. That's the one policy. $10,000 instead of $200,000, $10,000, and provide a dimensioned solution for a community of 1,500 people. But they have the same value in terms of they can connect, they can make call, they can do their digital space, they have data. So we need to generally begin to innovate cost-effective solutions that will dimension to those villages and communities, so that we can get there. So apart from government support, innovation is one of the name of the game. If you put a very big tower here and big this, telecom has come in a big way for the urban. 70-meter tower, go very far. Our population is there, a lot of people are there to make this call. What happened to where we have 1,500 people that are doing mining in very down somewhere in Kogi State, Yaba East, and they are just 1,000 people? They are doing mining or they are doing farming. What happened to them? So you find a way to dimension a small size, cost-effective solution and put it there that they can still make call, have connectivity, do data, call their friend wherever they are, and live there to make expense. And this is the approach. The current infrastructure is not enough. We need to do a lot, but we need to do whatever we want to do with innovation.
Where does Infratel fit into all this on your project or initiatives that you have put together in order to help Nigeria technology ecosystem propel further?
Thank you very much. I think we resonate all across those verticals and those questions. As I just mentioned earlier, we had our strategy meeting where we espouse all these questions, discuss it, and see what we are going to do for the year 2024. Infratel, what exactly are we known for? What is our key brand out there in terms of our verticals? We do everything in co-location. We are into tech space, infrastructure space. However, we have special soft spots for the rural area, and we have done a lot in this space, and we are still doing a lot in this space. Okay, first, we've provided this same solution that I said, cost-effective solution, connectivity model in far now more than about 100 and close to 200 communities in Nigeria, and we are going to still do a lot this year. We are going to do a lot in the context of all the challenges. We still prepare to face it and do a lot. In conjunction with the government, we have done so much, and even this year, we are still doing with them as well. Within the context of what we can dimension and what we can do, we are going to build a lot of sites in those sachet-make approach. So we identify communities and cities, locations, communities that are viable and doing something that are driving the economy. Maybe this is a fishing area. Maybe what they are doing here is mining. Maybe what, even some of those places in Ogun State, they call it forestry. They are doing farming. And if you see the kind of traffic that comes through those places. So in partnership with mobile network operator, I will try not to mention names because I don't patent them, and government, USPF, so to say, we have done a lot. We are still going to be driving that part. We are still going to put our investment because they give subsidy. We put more of our investment and try as much as possible to build a lot this year. Still going to build what we can build. If the tide change, then we get investment and then we do on a mass scale. If the tide scale change, 200 communities is what we can do in a quarter. So if we can do 200 communities in a quarter, that means we can do 800. Imagine 800 communities getting connected that are doing economic activity that can impact the nation. So we will do more of this. Again, what we have done is to see how do we sweat those ones we have done, how do we then move value. So we are going to do some sort of value-added services on the one we have done. So on the premise of this, we got last year the MVNO license. We got a tier 2 MVNO license that will allow us to do a retail, that will allow us to retail in those areas. So what we are going to do, we are going to begin to retail locally. Let them sell their recharge card themselves digitally. And we are not going to bring somebody from Lagos to those communities. We are going to serve as a technological transformation hubs in those communities. We will employ the people in those places. And in most cases, even the employment world is not going to happen. We will empower, let me use that word. We will empower them to be able to do it themselves. When we go to a community, first we meet with their community head. So we identify prospects and people, maybe people that have small kiosks, and we empower them. And these people will be the ones selling those recharge cards to people, and then they are making calls, we are getting them connected. You know, one of the things that is very, very large and Nigeria can bank on is digital inclusion, financial inclusion. In the area of power, we make sure that we do something we call microgrid. It's a mini grid sort of. So the one that we have done, plus the little infrastructure we are going to be able to add in the context of the challenges today, we are going to, above all, let them get value of those services. Putting array of value-added services around it. Make sure, even up to telemedicine, get you, because the moment you have internet, you can do everything. And then you are talking to a doctor on the other side, consultant, they get your medical history, they advise you, and then if your case, because most of what we have in women's case is malaria. It's malaria mostly, malaria, typhoid. You don't necessarily, you get medical help, medical consultants that are experienced that will give you those things, and even in some cases we are thinking, and how do they even get some of those drugs and medicine to them using drone? And getting those things to them in the village, wherever you are not supposed to be disadvantaged. And that is going to be the hub of our discussion and activity as Infratel Africa in 2024.
Wow, Infratel is really ready for 2024. And with all these other initiatives and insights, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
For more on well-researched and balanced stories, events and interviews across business, tech innovation and lifestyle, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, www.youtube.com/DigiVation Network.